Hey, this is Pizza Dude Man. I got a lot of questions from last week, which is awesome, but I might not have time to answer all of them in this video. So let's go ahead and get started, get through as many as we can, and I'll try to keep my answers brief. PSB123 asks, favorite Ruby character? My favorite Ruby character is Ruby Rose. It's actually very rare for me to have the main character be my favorite, but Ruby has a lot of character traits that I really like. She believes the best in everybody and tries to be friends with everybody, and she's really entertaining. Out of battle, she's always so happy and goofy, and in battle, she's like really creative. I absolutely love the fight between her and Neo at the end of Season 2. That was just really brilliant. Ridley Crade 187 asks, what are your opinions on the following Nintendo games? Other M, Skyward Sword, Star Fox Zero, and the newer Paper Mario games. I haven't played Metroid Other M, although I do own it, and I'm planning on doing a blind LP of it someday. From what I've seen of it, I can see why people didn't like it that much, but it looks interesting. Skyward Sword I know is a debate, but I absolutely love it. Skyward Sword is one of my favorite Zeldas. I've never played Star Fox Zero either, quite honestly because it didn't interest me. A lot of people seem to put Star Fox 64 on a pedestal, and I thought it was a good game, but Star Fox 64 was never one of my favorites, so Star Fox Zero didn't really interest me. Newer Paper Mario games I also have not had the opportunity to play, although Rune played Sticker Star and did not enjoy it. I'll probably give Color Splash a chance, but I've never played anything past Thousand Year Door. The Smashmaster 9000 asks, did you think you would reach 4,000 subscribers? The way I'm going to answer that question is, I believed that if I consistently made videos about things that I liked and was true to myself in them, that I would find my audience. So in short, yes, I did think I would reach 4,000 subscribers eventually if I worked hard persistently. And yes, I have reached 4,000 subscribers now, and I'm very happy about that, but I've been making videos for a little over 6 years now. Lord Genesect asks, when or if Smash 5 is announced, do you plan on making more roster critique videos? For those of you who don't know, one of my older series were called these roster critiques videos, where people would send me their idea for what Super Smash Bros. Roster should be like, and then I would rate their character choices, roster size, probability, and all that stuff. I don't exactly remember how it started. I think someone just sent me a roster, asked me to critique it, and then more people did that after the initial video, and it became one of my most popular series. Ultimately, I stopped doing it after Smash 4 was released, but also I kind of got tired of doing the roster critique videos because I felt like it wasn't fair of me to judge other people's opinionated matters. There were some characters I said, oh, that's dumb, that'll never happen, and then they did happen. So I just it feels like I'm not an authority on the topic, but people seem to really like them, so maybe if I get a lot of demand, I would do them again, but I don't have a lot of desire to do them again. Super Mario Fan 03 asks, how is being a teacher working for you? It's working pretty well. I just finished my second year. Second year of teaching is much easier than the first year because you actually know what you're doing. You know, that first year of teaching, it's like, you have no clue, and then the second year, you have a plan of some sort. Stelio78910 asks, do you still regularly wear your hat anymore, or was it just for show? To answer this question in two parts, the hat I wore was not just for show. I actually wore a trilby or fedora every single day while I was in college, so for like 5 years. As for if I wear it anymore, not so much. I would wear it on like a day-to-day personal basis while I was in college, but now that I'm working, I don't really wear my hat to work ever. And I don't bother putting my hat on when I haven't worn it all day and I come home. And I spend most of my days either working or at home, so I only ever wear my hat if I'm traveling or if I'm like at a game night with friends, so not very much. Nathaniel Best asks, I remember back in your old subscriber questions, you said Clannad and Haruhi were some of your favorite anime. Are they still some of your favorites? Yes, they are. I think Haruhi and Clannad are both masterpieces of anime, and they are still definitely some of my top favorites. Bobby Lopez asks, how would you feel if you were in Smash Brothers but you weren't accurately portrayed? Okay, well, the first thing is, if I was in Smash Brothers, I'd freak out. I'm like, why on earth did they add me? If I wasn't accurately portrayed, man, that's such a two-sided thing. On one hand, I'd be flattered I was added. On the other one, I wouldn't want people to get the wrong impression of me. So I'm not sure. I'd probably feel very nervous about it. Macdokong asks, what is the one game series, sequel, reboot, return you would want to see? Conker's Bad Fur Day. When that game came out, it was such a big deal. I mean, obviously, because it was M-rated and all that, but, like, we had never seen an N64 game that was that graphically advanced or had that much voice acting in it. And a lot of the levels and jokes and dialogue in the game are references to other things. Like, there's a Dracula level, and there's a cutscene inspired by The Matrix, so there's a lot of potential to make references to other different things, and they've just not tapped into that at all. It's such a waste of potential. G. Nelson asks, what are some of your favorite musicians? Going through music school as a trumpet player, I got a lot of respect and a lot of listening out of some of the well-known historical jazz trumpet players. People who are really pioneers of their time, like Miles Davis, Dizzy Gillespie, Clifford Brown. I know that's kind of a weird answer, but that's just kind of what I wound up being a part of growing up, so that's my answer. Aokiji Kiji asks, do you think there will still be Mega Evolutions of Pokemon Sun and Moon, and which 5 Pokemon would you like to see getting one? I would be very surprised if we did not see new Mega Evolutions in the next Pokemon game. As for which 5 I would pick, Meganium, Typhlosion, Feraligatr, Dragonite, and Militech. Jason Bernhardt asks, what was the game that made you want to become a gamer? Man, I really got into games when I was playing on my uncle's Super Nintendo. So I think my biggest influences were Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country. Those games just got me hooked right away. Big Boss Man 538 asks, what do you think about Nintendo's future? That's a pretty broad question, but to put it in short, I think they're still making steps towards being around for a long time. Things like Mario and The Legend of Zelda and Pokemon, I don't think are ever going to die off completely. But as for the NX and Nintendo's progression, I know it's not always what people expect out of video game companies that make systems. A lot of people are really going on and on about the third-party support or the indie games and that kind of stuff right now. But I think what Nintendo's doing is going to keep them alive for quite a while more. It always seems, anyway, that anytime someone's like, oh, this is going to be the thing that kills off Nintendo, they're totally fine. So I'm not predicting any downfall of Nintendo for a long time. Ultra Kayden asks, what is your favorite victory theme from each Smash game, and do you still support the idea of individualized victory themes? So in my old Smash speculation videos, one of my ideas that a lot of people really liked was the idea of every single character having their own victory theme, kind of like how Rosalina and Meta Knight have their own despite being part of the Mario or Kirby series, and I still really like that idea. I think that would just be a cool little touch. As for my favorite victory theme from each Smash game, just at the top of my head without really thinking about it, I like Ness's the most in Super Smash Bros. 64. I want to say my favorite from Melee is the Ice Climbers. From Brawl, I like Snake's. And from the newest Smash Bros., I like Pac-Man's. That one's really funny. Alright, we got another one here from PSB. What do you think we'll see in terms of cuts to the Smash 4 roster come Smash 5? I'm guessing that the highest priority cuts are going to be the characters that were purely clones. I mean, unless they have extra time once again to recreate them. So, you know, Lucina, Dr. Mario, and Dark Pit. And then after that, probably the clone-like DLC characters like Roy and Lucas. And then probably third-party DLC characters like Ryu, probably not Bayonetta, probably followed by any other DLC characters. Here's a second one from Ridley Craig. Favorite and least favorite pizza topping. Favorite is classic pepperoni. As for my least favorite, I mean, you could make anything a pizza topping, but out of commonly used pizza toppings, probably pineapple. I mean, I know a lot of people like pineapple on their pizza, and I just don't. The big reason being I don't like pineapple, so I don't like it on my pizza. Here's another one from Super Mario Fan. If Nintendo ends up being a third-party company like Sega if the NX bombs, how would that make you feel? I honestly wouldn't be terribly heartbroken as long as we keep getting Nintendo games, right? As long as we keep seeing Mario, Legend of Zelda, and Pokemon games, that's all I really care about. As long as Nintendo still gets, a lot of the freedom to innovate as they do within the game, even if they can't innovate with their consoles anymore. Here's another one from Bobby Lopez. If you could ask Sakurai one thing regarding Smash, what would it be? I would want to ask him what characters he would like to add to Super Smash Bros. Like, I'm sure that he's added a lot of characters that he personally wanted, but I bet a lot of the characters, too, are influences and choices and compromises from the other developers and team members and companies. So I'd want to know, like, what characters he would actually want to see in Super Smash Bros. Here's another question from Ultra Kayden. Have you ever used RPG Maker? And the answer is no. So I'll answer another one of your questions here, Ultra Kayden. What is your favorite color swap in SSB4? Well, I think obviously the most impressive color swap is the Koopa Kids from Bowser Jr. That is just so neat how they did that. But besides that, I really like Mario's, I believe it's a golf-based outfit. See, it's just an obscure reference from, like, one game, and I would love to see, like, more of those. Costume changes for characters that are just really random references to, like, one game or something. It'd be cool if a lot of the costumes were like that. I think we still have a little more time, so let's do a third one here from PSB. Do you want Sakurai to be the director of Smash 5? I've come to really trust Sakurai in terms of directing Smash Brothers. I mean, obviously he's the most experienced at it, but he also doesn't always just add what people expect and what people want. He also throws in, like, surprises here and there, and I like that. I don't always want to know who's going to be in Smash. I want the Duck Hunt dog. I want the Wii Fit trainer. I want the people I didn't even know I wanted. Here's a third question from Ridley Crade. What are your thoughts on the whole indie craze that's been going on over the past few years, and have you played any of the big ones? I honestly haven't played a lot of the big ones. I've watched an LP of Shovel Knight or two, and I've been very, very interested in Undertale, but even though these games look really, really, really great, I still wind up prioritizing my money towards, the other stuff that I like. As for my general thoughts on it, I think it's great. I think it's wonderful that these smaller indie developers are finding a way to make their games and get it out to an audience who's going to enjoy them. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Here's a third one from Super Mario Fan. Favorite Final Fantasy protagonist besides Cloud? Cecil Harvey. Here's another one from Bobby Lopez. What got you so interested in Smash that you wanted to make speculation videos? Man, when Super Smash Bros. First came out for the N64 and I was watching the commercials for it, oh my gosh, that was the most exciting thing in the world to me. These were like all my favorite video game characters. Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Pikachu, and they were all in the same game together. I thought that was just like the pinnacle of gaming at that point in my life. And it continues to have that kind of influence on me. I just think the whole thing is such a miraculous product of video gaming, and it means so much to me. Here's one more from Ultra Kayden. What is your favorite video game company? I can't imagine myself giving an answer other than Nintendo. I mean, there's lots of video game companies that are great and that I like, but I'm such a goddamn Nintendo fanboy. And with that, I think we're going to have to cut this video off. If you had a question I didn't get around to, just ask it again. Don't be shy in asking questions. I usually have enough time in these videos, apparently, to answer multiple questions if you have multiple questions. So, just like before, leave any questions you have in the comments, and I'll make a new video next week. See you then.